All right. Yes, sir. How we doing? Okay, let's go and get into this teaching real quick. All right. So, celestial rising, divine to noon, and grand night to the beautiful deity watching this video. So, divine reflection, divine messenger, and we are about another message to understand. So, for today, just know me the right nor wrong. I am just here to provide information to you, and also this is for the Patreon family because I think I'll post this video on YouTube, but this is for the Patreon family because y'all are y'all are just consistent as far as like even wanting to tap into my teachings that are just on Patreon, and I won't post them on YouTube, but a lot of times too, I do just like posting videos in general because I just feel like, gatekeeping the knowledge is not worth it in my opinion, but there may be like an exclusive to this Patreon video, but I may post this on YouTube though, just depending on how I feel. But anyways, for today's teaching, we are talking about the 3D through the ninth dimension. Because I seen this picture on Instagram and on Twitter as well, and I was looking at, why they put this chart right here, and so I was just thinking, like, do some people know how to interpret these dimensions? And so for today, I'm basically just explaining these dimensions and how you're able to possess them within a video, because you don't have. Now the thing is, to get into these dimensions, it does take time, it does take spiritual work, it takes shadow work, it takes a bunch of healing, it takes consistency, discipline, being intuitive, just knowing how much faith you have in the Almighty Creator, because the Almighty Creator will not just plant you into these different enlightenments for you to be executed by wolves. Because the higher you go up in consciousness, the more devious this dimension becomes, because you are starting to shine your light more, like you're becoming an enigma. And the thing is too, when you're the spark towards the people's eyes that they are not able to light up behind their own soulless mindset, that's when these deities know, like, the spell is not working on you. Why is that? We got rid of you before and you still came back. And the thing is, you may not know who you are, but you should always know that you are made in the image of the Almighty Creator, but you are the microcosm of this creation. And the thing is too, the Almighty Creation had to suppress itself mentally and emotionally to even want to attack you, because of course, understand too, just like in the Matrix, the agent is still you. The agent is nothing but your subconscious mind. It's nothing but the ego wanting to attack your higher self. When you have Morpheus and you have Trinity guiding your hand, when you combine yourself together with all three mindsets, you are now able to eliminate your old ways, and you're able to rise above them in the 3D physical dimension of consciousness. So of course, this is where the ego association comes into the hill. So yeah, and the thing is too, I say ego association because you are basically speaking towards your ego. Now you're basically understanding where it comes from. You're noticing what it is. You're noticing why you are going through these, or why you were going through these things. And the thing is too, to get to this mindset right here, because you're already in the 3D, but you're not thinking. There's more to the 3D in your mind. So you have to sit with yourself. That's exactly why service to self is a thing. Because once you become a service to yourself, you begin to start thinking about the things that you have suppressed and became unconscious about. That brings you to your awareness of duality, because you were too fixated on materialism. But now you're getting to the point to where the material it wasn't ever worth it to begin with. You just wanted it because you wanted to look a certain way to certain people that you actually never cared about, but you cared about their validation that you couldn't validate towards yourself. So it's like not having these certain materialistic possessions. This keeps you in the fear-based programming that you're not able to escape out of, because you're too fixated on thinking that if you don't have this nice car, these shoes, these clothes, if you don't have this camera, you don't have this phone, if you don't have this certain lifestyle, if you don't have a certain amount of money, you are now not thinking in the process of becoming yourself, because your higher self does not care about the material possessions in this world. So you wouldn't fear anything about the programming of material programmers, because their programming their programming is to focus on spending money that they can't even receive back. So they're giving away money towards themselves to these companies just to keep an image up. And this image can't even be kept up because they're going to keep on changing the image due to material possession. So they're basically enslaving themselves in their riches, going through these industries as far as like buying clothes, going to the mall, Amazon. So they'll keep on thinking this way, and this is a linear thinking program because they can only think one way in material. So they feel as if having all these fast cars or looking a certain way is going to keep them, comfortable in this certain dilemma that they're in, because remember, they're stuck in the ego's association. So at this point right here, people aren't aware of their ego, but they're existing in it. So it's just like they're literally living on autopilot. So it's like they have no awareness of their own. Their ego controls them. Like their consciousness will run them subconsciously to the point to where they want to be a victim. That's their whole mentality. So when things don't go their way, or if you do something that they don't even like and they have a way to escape out of that situation to make themselves feel better, they'll play the victim. And then the thing is too, the cause and effect is your emotions. So what caused you to feel a certain way about how they affected themselves by reacting to what you reacted to towards what they did to you. It all comes back to you in duality. Because remember, they're still programmed in their subconscious processing of their mindset. They're not able to actually lead a simulation because they're scared. They're sticking to the script. When you stick to the script, and that means you can't even think freely for yourself. You can't even speak for yourself. And the thing is too, it's like you become more cautious of like the things that you eat. Not just, I keep saying like, my fault. But the thing, you become conscious of just the fact of you want to speak on certain things, but depending on who's paying you, depending on who's watching you, that's when, not even just you, but the person who's trying to escape, they won't escape if they keep on blaming somebody else for the accountability that a leader should be taking. You should have known all this stuff beforehand, but you didn't, because you had many different distractions that were distracting you from finding yourself. So how can you be a service to yourself when all you've been doing is working outside of yourself for a better self, for your future self? If you have people that you look up to who aren't even better in their future selves, how can you go to them for guidance when they can't even guide themselves to where you're trying to go? So who gonna guide you? That's why you have to be able to associate with the ego and understand duality. Once you get past the material possessions of this world, you don't start thinking linear, because that becomes a fear-based programming where you can only think on a one-track mind. Like, yeah, this may be the course, but who's to say? And then what happens when you follow this person's path and then you fall down the cliff right along with them? 4D expanding consciousness. So now when you're able to tap outside the ego, you're becoming more expanded. So you're going beyond this plane of existence now. And this is all a mind thing, by the way, because there's not a doorway that you can walk. Now the thing is too, you can't walk into higher dimensions through doorways, but that all just resonates with the energy and your vicinity, your household, the embodiment of your auric field, what you're allowing, what you're magnetizing into yourself, the words that you're saying, the thoughts that you're saying. That's when you're able to start walking through these different portals that you experience and you have deja vu. But that's a different topic for a different day. But with 4D expansion of the consciousness, you are now expanding the 4D dimension of your mindset. So you're going to a higher leveling plane of spirituality. This is all spiritual teachings anyways that our ancestors been taught us, but it's been removed for a reason, because you are now in a mixed state gateway. And that's the thing too. So when it's a gateway, it's like what I'm saying, like you're basically in your mind, you're actually walking through portals. But the thing is though, these portals, you basically are aligning yourself in this reality and your mindset. So in the fourth dimension, everything that's going on right now, you're tapping into a higher way of thinking. So basically right now, I am going through an epiphany, a spiritual awakening while making this video. And it's kind of surreal because I'm actually observing myself talk, making this video, being conscious of my words and being aware of what my ego wants to say. And I just guided along the way spiritually, because of course it's a struggle for an overthinker to get its thoughts out, to make it make sense through a contradiction called life. When you understand that, you are going to now challenge old belief systems, because when you do that, why do these systems have you believing a system that comes from a higher system of ignorance? Why were you staying ignorant in that synchronicity? That's the thing, because when you're changing your old beliefs that you were systemized by, programmed by, you are now going to synchronize in a flexible reality that's a betterment for you. You're becoming your own boss, because you are now finding the outlets to align yourself even with time as well. Time is not a real thing, but you, as a boss, you create your own time. So you should be able to clock in and clock out whenever you want, which is exactly why sleep is for the weak. You'll be able to rest when you're dead. So why are you not working right now? And the thing is too, we all need our rest. I'm not going to say I'm against that, but if you had nothing to do, if you're bored, if you're especially just transferring your energy by saving your energy, whatever the case may be, the best way to stay focused is literally by having awareness of your connection with the divine self of your expansion, because you're one with divinity in this moment right now. You're staying focused, you're consistent, you know you have a path to follow. So because of that, you become more open-minded, because don't forget, you already transcended the gateway of your ego. So because of that, your ego is now sitting in the passenger seat, letting you drive the vehicle that you always owned. The ego was just the passenger side, taking over the wheel till you were able to drive yourself, and it took some years, but you finally awakened. And because of that, you are now going to seek the answers that you always question. And the thing is too, you can't be upset with people who can't answer your questions when they can't even answer the questions that they have for themselves, that they question every single day, with an answer right in front of their face. And the thing is too, because of that, you got to understand structures as well. It's like obelisks. You got to understand like symbolism. You got to understand just different occult knowledges and why these structures were built. Just like in the White House, for example, or your house, for example, all these different libraries, all these different school systems, politics, like the political households, just all these different mansions, right? These office buildings, you got just restaurants, fast food chains in general. We gotta understand why these structures were built. And the thing is too, all these buildings that are already built, they're literally nothing but a below systematic way of another hologram that we also exist in as well. And the thing is too, in this higher consciousness, this is basically where your purpose is, because the thing is too, your purpose builds this structure. Now, I don't mean structure in a physical way or architectural way or whatever the case may be, because structure can also mean humanity as well. When you align with your purpose, you are now going to be so open-minded that people are going to want to follow this gateway that you walked into. But you won't, a magician would never tell its secrets to the masses, because many aren't called to be chosen to walk within this sorcery. Just walking with divinity in general is magic in its own right. That's exactly why you have to understand the 5D consciousness. So once you transcend the 4D dimension and you get the questions that go beyond the connection of outside selves, you now go within. You become more open-minded, because don't forget, you're aligning with your purpose. So once you're focused, once you're determined, and you're consistent with it, and the Almighty sees that, the Almighty's now basically granting you unified blessings, because don't forget, this is all alignment of your solar energy. All your celestial bodies combined together, all these planets, all these terrestrial planes of existence aligned together with your mindset. Not only that, just all your parallel realities. When you're all focused in all dimensions infinitely possible, you're able to now be unified with the divine creator. And we own the 5D dimension, by the way. And all these things happen within your mind, because don't forget, this happens when you start finding love within yourself. If the Almighty was playing hide and seek, where would it hide? Within the heart. That's exactly why you have to be heart-centered living, no matter what. And the thing is too, I always say tough love, because I feel like being too soft is soft as fuck. And the thing is too, people can't grow. There's no tough love in a household or just in life in general. You gotta tell people how it is and give it to them raw. Now stay protected always, but give it to them raw. You know how to protect yourself. Don't go around here with no armor trying to speak the truth when you know you'll get crucified, you know you'll get burned. You gotta always have your shield next to you. You gotta always have the Almighty Divine walking next to you, because you'll be a service to others. And the thing is too, by doing this, you're not actually pleasing other people. All you're doing is giving a service to yourself through others by loving yourself again. That's what service to others means, because for one, you will effortlessly have abundance, and you will give it out too, and it'll be given right back to you. No matter what, speaking the truth that you know is a contradiction, that's true abundance. That's giving you life and prosperity, because you know what you're speaking, because you're unified in a flow state of awareness. You're so aware of what you love about yourself and life in general, you have nothing to be sad about, because all you care about now is your purpose. And your purpose sadly has to involve some material possessions of abundance, but at least that abundance will help take care of you and your family, and you'll multiply it so much to the point to where you become a service to others. You don't do this shit for money, you do it because it's fun, and then more people are joining, consistently seeing the message. That's even better, because now we're all unified in our consciousness. Authenticity. I wasn't able to even find myself till I actually reached this mentally, because I was always shy and timid to be myself. Now, of course, I can do it behind closed doors, but then I told myself it wouldn't be real to myself if I'm not being real to myself on camera as well. So what I do on camera, I should do off camera as well, because no matter what, stay who you are. Don't ever hide who you are, because that's not authentic. And on top of that, I can't live my purpose out if I'm not being authentic in my purpose. That gives me unconditional love. So I love myself so much that no matter what, I can do this shit with no effort, but still have love for it because I love myself for doing this. And this is my purpose, to get people to the heaven consciousness. So I'm driven by my purpose, by putting in action, by loving this shit unconditionally. Because no matter what, the abundance will always come when you're doing this with no effort. It's not a job when you're having fun. It's not a job when you're having fun. It's not a job when you know that you wake up, this is the first thing on your mind and the last thing on your mind when you go to bed. And you know that's helping you pay your bills. Why not? You can do this for the rest of your life, just make a video and go on about your day, be with your family. You wouldn't do that either? Get real with yourself, my nigga. And thing is too, you don't have to even go into those dark terrestrial planes to have an expanded consciousness. Now, of course, of course you do, but we're not going on the anti-side of these things because, of course, all these dimensions have something to do as well with where you go in life as well as far as your career. It doesn't matter if you're famous or regular civilian. There's both different ways of tapping into these higher dimensions that these terrestrial deities have laid out for us on a mental plane of existence of our observation, of our mindset. Now, the galactic consciousness. So the collective overstating of timelines, understand too. That's why I always tell you time doesn't exist, because when I understood this, and thing is too, I travel to these dimensions every single night. And of course, when I had my spiritual awakening, I mentally was able to get here too. That's exactly why I tell you, like, from my ninth dimensional perspective, you are above the simulation, you are the simulation, but we'll get into that later on. So timelines mean that, for one, time does not exist, and the thing is too, it's infinitely possible to do every single thing at one moment that you're doing right now. But the thing is too, though, you have to contradict that, because even within a 6D perspective, you are also outside of time itself, and time itself cannot be calculated, nor could it be constructed through the observation of the Almighty's infinite vacuum of its own mindset. So because of that, man has to comprehend time through its own calculations, through its own statistics of number systems. And because of those systems, we don't understand that, for one, they systemize our mentality by keeping us stuck down here in this reality by just being one and not unified with all one beings under ourselves as well in our own parallel reality. Because if you understood your parallel reality, and you can actually, if they gave you a machine like at your local park or whatever, and they told you individually you can walk towards this machine, and when you look at it, you can see yourself in your parallel reality, and then your parallel self will walk up to this portal and be like, oh my God, what's good? Like, if you could actually talk to your parallel self, you would start asking questions. They don't want that, because then when you start asking questions, these conversations become longer and longer. And now, of course, the thing is too, they wanted more money. You would pay for more time with your money to have that conversation with your parallel self. But they're not thinking like that, though. But the thing is too, though, they know that they were thinking like that. That's a big risk for them, because if they're doing that, then if your 3D self mentally is talking to your 6D self, you're now getting intuitive downloads. Because don't forget, they're in a higher dimension. Y'all in the same plane, different dimensions. Don't forget that. Y'all in the same plane, but mentally in different dimensions. Because mentally, this dimension's in your other 6D self's mindset, while also seeing the exact same replica of your dimension as well. So they're in your reality at the same exact part. The only difference is y'all are talking to each other in higher realms. So this being is higher than you while being sober. You're sober, but yet you're high in your mind, talking to your higher mind and its higher mind, while relating to you in your lower mind and its lower mind. And basically, these intuitive downloads will help you access the Akashic records. Because don't forget, the Almighty's still talking to you by healing through energy fields. Because these energy fields are also breaking through what you're not able to break through the limitations of what we are existing in today, right now, currently. Because once you're doing that, you will now have advanced manifestations, because you are also in a transcendence of your inception. So you're jumping timelines mentally. So it's like you don't even exist in 2024 anymore. It's like you're beyond 2035, and you're just doing things for your future self in those timelines. So you don't live for right now. You're building every single day for that year that you're going to be successful in. You see Earth or TMI as a unified organism, and you treat it with respect as well. And I think that goes for the evil beings as well. And the thing is too, even with evil people, It's like we don't want to go and bash our brother and our sister, but we have to relay a message to the people that don't understand the disguise that our siblings will hide in front of you while you're still paying for their illusion. That keeps them delusional. And once you're doing that, you can also communicate with higher dimensional beings. And that's a fact. Because when you're doing that, when you're unified now, these deities that are able to observe you and watch you as your experimenters, by the way, they're able to telepathically communicate with you through empathy because you now love yourself. And the thing is too, you're becoming a being now. You're becoming a deity. So the thing is too, this is a mental battle. So you're transcending, because the thing is too, new levels, new devils. So the ego is still going to block you off from these, like reaching these dimensions basically. So when you're going towards to communicating with higher dimensional beings, you'll start seeing them in society. And the thing is too, you don't gotta take cocaine, you don't gotta take shrooms or LSD or acid to see them. And the thing is too, once you start seeing them, you don't have to make a conference call about them to the public, because they won't be able to understand them or nor overstand them, because they're not seeing that this is a unified school for all beings. So this is basically sky high. This is basically like this is not even just a movie script. This is basically like, this is college for just expansion of beings. So we're all in school in different grade levels, mentally, physically, spiritually, all of that. And we have a bunch of alumni in our dimension who came back to school to govern and overthrow the students who want to be teachers of themselves. But the actual teachers of their studious acts don't want to learn from you. They want you to learn from them, but they also want you to learn from yourself as well. So these teachers is basically teaching you through telepathy, telling you that when you start communicating with these higher dimensional beings, they'll be able to guide you into a better you and your future self, and they'll look just like you. And they're actually wearing your skin as well. That's why I tell you, everybody's not a human being, because there are actually some beings like you and I who are walking around here, and we are pretending to be humane. We are pretending to be in our nature so that you can comprehend our comprehension. But if we took our skin off, you would see our embodiment of our own light codes in this dark realm of dark codes as well. So you'll be seeing your shadow side and your lighter self. You'll be seeing enlightenment through its descendants, to where you will not be able to comprehend it if I didn't have a skin or a bodysuit on me. But if you see my solar energy outside of its skin, then you will know that I'm always giving you telepathic communications through empathy, because I love doing this. Don't forget, like, when we talk, we are all communicating with higher dimensional beings. Once I understood that, that's when I understood that I am a higher dimensional being just like you. So my experience was, how can I get into the higher realms now? Because don't forget too, the Akashic records have been open. And I can make, that's the thing too, I can make videos on that all damn day, but that's besides the point, because it's just like, what's really the point? There's really no point to teach that, because like, nigga, the information is for you. You teach what you want to, you learn what you want to learn. It's all a manifestation through a meditation method that you can access in the whole library of a cosmic realm or astral realm. These are a realm, like the Akashic records are a realm of infinite vast information that you can access within your own DNA once you unlock the junk DNA. And you start treating it like trash. Now, once you do that, this empathy through telekinesis and telepathy will now become a light body activation for the 7D mindset. So you knock down the sixth dimensional galactic consciousness of galactic warfare, spiritual warfare. You had to go through, like, you had to actually, like, when you get these downloads right here and you start healing, and the thing is, so I say healing because you had to also heal years before the Big Bang theory of our mom and our celestial mom and dad just coming together, basically. And they give all these different philosophies or ideologies of what physically happened, but you cannot articulate God. So they're going to do it through Satanism. Like, you cannot articulate what you did not see. But that's the problem, though. If you can go back and tell us what you've seen, what does that make you? Don't forget that. So once you understand that, you will now are going to actually activate your light body. And you start learning about enlightenment. And that's exactly where these different secret societies, well, never secret societies, but these societies with secrets start coming into play. Because once you start getting mentally into this activation, you are now understanding the code with life. You understand that everything is done in the dark while still having light in the background. And then once you post it outside, when it's light outside, people will see what you've done in the dark while having the light on. Because all the Almighty did was have an idea in its own consciousness through expansion, telling itself, I'm going to detach from my ego. Because and the thing is too, don't forget 7 days, the 7 days of creation. You can even study the Enuma Elish as well. Even the Epic of Creation, they're going to tell you, like, even still, it's the exact same thing. Because when the Almighty's doing the 7 days of creation, for one, you can't create creation in 7 days because, for one, before you even started on day one, creation was already created. So how did it take you 7 days to create creation when it was already created before 7 days? Like, the Almighty already completed the day before the day was even called day. Like, before it even got to day, it was already done. Before the Almighty even had the thought of creating 7 days, it was already done. So why are you going through that process of your lies? That's exactly why. Complete detachment from ego. That's why when I tell people I don't have an ego, but I'm lying through my ego, niggas will be like, what? I don't have an ego, but I'm lying through my ego. So I'm telling you I have an ego, but I don't have an ego. Because I checked my ego. That's when you're able to have an energy body mastery. You're able to master your body. You actually know that your body's alive and you can talk to it and not, once again, treat it like a trash can. Because when you're doing that, you're vibrating at a pure frequency. And the thing is too, this key word, pure, because for one, you have a loving intention for everything around you already, because you're unified by seeing this dimension as a unified organism. So once you understand that, you have love and hate for all beings, because you don't give a fuck really. Because you caring and loving yourself is love for everybody else. Now, of course, it'll be tough love, but that's still love. And the thing is too, is pure, because you know the world is fucked up in general, and you don't deserve shit just because you asked for it. But you're so pure and giving back to people, and you just doing your job, and people still praise you for it. That's a pure vibration of your frequency, because you're all loving. You are now becoming the embodiment of your own enlightenment that you unconsciously always knew about, but you weren't able to learn about it until you learned about it through yourself. Time is a fluid construct. Now, time is a fluid construct is seen in our memories and emotions that connect us to our past or future scenarios. When you vividly recall a childhood moment that brought joy to you, it feels as if you're reliving it in the present. Similarly, when you daydream about your goals, your imagination creates a reality that hasn't happened yet. Bending time to your focus. Time isn't just a linear concept. It's shaped by being in awareness and brightening your perception. Understand that. So when you're aware and you're able to brighten your perception, you're able to now construct the time by just being in your own scenario, by being in your own moment, basically for a momentary process. And the thing is too, as you're bending it, like I said earlier too, because once you're now going to infinite realities, you basically are able to construct the time of its own constructive timeline. So you're the observer of time, and you're wielding time, and you're bending it to your own capabilities. So you become your own boss because you're activating the codex and different dimensions of your mindset through their mindset. And when I say their mindset, I mean your mindset as well, because them, there, and they are still you in those other realities. And they are also controlled by these Nephilim's reality as well. Now, once you're able to communicate with these beings, you understand why they do what they do. And the thing is too, you don't sit there and converse and try to join sides with them. No, you understand their reasoning. You don't go for their reason, and then you just tell them straight up what you're going to do. And the thing is too, you're not telling them what you're going to do, but your disagreement with their manifestation, their utopia, just tells divinity that you're going to be in the present with yourself, and you're not going to just bend over backwards just to have instant gratification to free your time up, to have a better future for you and your family, but really for you, so that you can shit on people. That's exactly why, like, so remember too, even when you daydream about your goals, your imagination will create a reality that hasn't happened yet, but it's bending time to your focus because you're focused on that illusion. So once you're sitting there doing that, just know it's fluid, and the things too is flowing like water. So you have to let that awareness of your goals, your dreams, in the daytime and nighttime just flow like water. No matter what, be yourself, be authentic, and be pure loving, because once you're doing that, you are now going to activate, like I said earlier, with the DNA, junk DNA, all of that, crystalline DNA activation, because don't forget too, you are made of crystals also, and you also have crystals in your household as well. Like for example, green aventurine, that's made with abundance also, and more prosperity, more just basically more grace coming to you, more gratitude, more abundance is going to come your way into your family's lifestyle, and you start attracting money more. You start attracting things that are green for you, the love, the health, all those things that are beneficial towards your lifestyle. This is you unlocking dormant spiritual energetic potential within you. So when you meditate, or even moments for wanting deep connection with nature, you will experience a heightened intuition and a mass surge of unconditional love and a clearer sense for your purpose and goals. And these shifts will reflect the awakening of your higher dimensional abilities encoded with your DNA. So that's the thing too. Once you reach that, you're far beyond an average person's mindset, because you're basically growing. You're growing up at a rapid rate at this point. Once you go past the 3D dimension, it's like it's smooth sailing. Like you can actually grow up mentally and become so wise in your youth by just being with yourself in your mindset, by going through all this. And once you actually get that surge of unconditional love, it's just like it's like you get, that quick surge, like when you're cold or whatever, you get like the chills and all that, you shake your body. You like in school, like when somebody would just be like, they'll start twitching out, like, nigga, you good? Yeah, it's just cold in here. You get stuff like that because you're getting a clearer sense. And the thing is too, it's like you're having a deja vu moment. You sit there, your goals become clearer, your passion becomes clear, your purpose becomes clearer, your name becomes clearer to you, what you got to do, why you're here, what you're doing these things for. So all these different, so basically the amnesia, the spell that was casted upon you before you enter this dimension by that base up there, it was activated by you even wanting to put steps into aligning your mindset by being mindful every single day. By you even wanting to stay with yourself and be with your higher self. You're working on yourself and you're basically shifting, and you're going to also ascend into self-awareness because you're level-headed at this point. And the thing is too, when you get to that point, everything that people do in this dimension mentally, you are a living channel for divine will. What does that mean? That's why I named myself, well, I didn't name myself, but I named my ego Divine Messenger 777, because for one, that's still duality. It's a messenger for both just God, good and bad. But what is good and bad? When good and bad don't exist, detach from that ego. Remember that. Because once you're doing that, your ascension of self-awareness becomes transmuted through the voice of Almighty God in a higher frequency that becomes effortless in your own creation. And you will mess up just like I mess up as well. Not putting it on you, but you're still going to be a channel no matter what. Now, of course, the channel will get staticky. You have complications. You have people try to tune out the radio. People try to get it canceled. But they can't stop your creation because you do it with no effort, because you know yourself through self-awareness in all dimensions. Because you're basically about to hit the 8th dimension of your mindset. And people are not ready to live with that channel for divine will. So by me even telling you about this stuff, that's a channel from divine will, from a divine messenger. Because for one, once you get to that mindset, once to activate just who you are on a deeper, because you're basically going down a rabbit hole of duality. You're literally climbing Jacob's spirit at this point. Fuck a ladder, you're climbing its spirit. You're climbing the Garden of Eden. You're literally climbing the Kundalini symptom of your energy. You're ascending into heaven at this point. So you already left hell at this point. So at this point, like at this moment, you're getting into a higher cosmic order of your oversoul. That's why I put oversoul, because you are now about to, you're basically over your soul. Like you're over your solar energy. So you're now able to see how you were lured and why the image of God is enslaved since day one. You'll get to see, like when you oversee multiple timelines, you're going back billions of years ago. You're going back to the wars in heaven. You're going back to higher dimensional Star Wars. And then you have an infinite compassion for all beings, because you now mentally get to see why there's an enslavement for all deities known to man. We all enslaved spiritually by higher deities. And on top of that, we're all enslaved by God, because we're all controlled by Almighty God's mindset. And these deities rebelled against that, excuse me. That's recognition, right? Because these deities understood that rebelling against ignorance kept them enlightened. They're stupid for that. Because for one, rebelling against what the Almighty had in duality, that just keeps the Almighty more righteous in its contradiction, because the Almighty is living through all of us anyway. So the Almighty wanted to be stupid. The Almighty wanted to dumb itself down because it wanted to just have fun and wanted to live life because it was too boring praising itself for being itself, for creating itself. So it's like, if it's the Almighty, it's so powerful to the point to where that when you're making angels sing for you, like when life in the high heavenly realms is just singing to you, these deities were programmed. So it's like they are also imprisoned in a heavenly realm to please the Almighty creation. But then the Almighty creation woke up one day and was just like, why don't have other gods before me? I'm praising God, I'm made in God's image. But why am I praising this God? Why can't I be praised? Don't I do good things also? Now you start asking questions, but then they tell you, don't question God. But it's like, if I can't question you, why do you get to question me? When you know the questions within me, when you made the questions within me. So if you know the questions, what I'm going to say, why can't you answer my question? Or my fault's already been answered because you're God, right? Makes no sense. But when Lucifer's trying to question the Almighty's not going for it. Because like, nigga, I am you, so I'm basically going against myself. Now people forgot about the play because the Almighty programmed it that way. The Almighty split itself into two, in duality, obviously. So the good side of Almighty had to be bad, so that these deities, these archangels, these legions of masses of angelic frequencies had to act in a Shakespearean play of a heavenly realm once again, because they were all created in the image of the Almighty Creator. We are the microcosm. That's exactly why it's a recognition of a fractal of the universe. Because once you're overseeing multiple timelines, you now get to actually go back in time mentally. You get to sit with the Almighty Creator and talk with the Almighty Creator, literally telling you what happened. But you can actually understand that and meditate on that and even pray about it and journal about it. I can't make this shit up. That's exactly why it has to be here in a document, because it's just like, when you understand that what we had to do to be where we are was meant to be done to get to where we already are. Does that make sense? What we did to get to where we are is what we had to do to get to where we already were. Meaning that, for one, we oversee our over solar energy to the point to where that we unconsciously lure our energy, our solar energy down here, because we are infatuated by the illusion of the subconscious mind. That's how high we are. Spiritually, by the way. Don't forget, we're in the 8th dimension right now. So we're so high up in our mind, we want to come down. But yet we still come back up. That's why death had to get involved. Because it was like, all right, there's got to be a middle ground for these gateways. Because this is not a vacation. Like, we're coming down here for a mission. Like, we stopped here from different terrestrial planes of existences, creating, procreating, and just living life. But it's just like, you came here to learn something. Then you came to move out of the way. Because this ain't your home anyways. This belongs to them. They belong here. This is their prison, not yours. You were just down here because you also followed them. But I'm here to show you that there are no followers of their leadership. So why are you following leaders with no leadership that I gave them? So when you follow me, you're following me unconsciously. That's why consciously know that you are me and I am you. That's all you have to know. You don't have to worship me. Just know you are. That's when recognition of it as a fractal universe comes in. You are the universe, but you are not the almighty universe. So, perspective of the highest energy of all time. So you are seeing yourself as a microcosm of the whole. And whenever you begin noticing how you breathe, how your breath mirrors the rhythm of ocean waves, or how your emotions align with the moon's phases and the sun as well, this is showing you that the patterns within you reflect the larger patterns of the cosmic persona. Meaning that the Almighty is existing within all of us. Even when you go to a lake or a pond or a river or the ocean in general, just a beach, look at the waves flowing, look at them move. That's literally how peaceful the Almighty is observing reality right now. That's why, as a being, you have to always remain at peace, always remain with yourself, always align your emotions, because they come and go. Your emotions don't even belong to you. Your emotions are spirits. You are a spiritual being. Don't forget, your body is the portal. You have openings everywhere, and I don't mean that in a sexual way. You can put it that way, but I don't mean it that way. But your body is a portal. Like, your body is the black and white hole combined together. Your subconscious mind is that singularity point. So is it going up or down? Are you thinking highly of yourself or lowly of yourself? If you do, you will descend right down to that black hole, and then you will still ascend yourself right into that white hole, because you'll have some positive moments, you'll have some good moments. But when you're in the moment right then and there, you can't be high nor down. You can't be sober nor high. You're just in the moment. You're existing as consciousness. So you can't be persuaded by anything negative in this dimension anyways, because what's negative is still positive. What's positive is still negative. They had to coexist somehow, some way, or you wouldn't even be here. Your mom had to hate your dad for love to be made. She hated that nigga, but yet still lay with him and made you. What kind of love is that? Full integration with source energy. It's like seeing a drop of water returning to the ocean. It's little but still fully connected to the infinite whole. During deep meditation or moments of pure presence, you will feel and sense unity where all separation dissolves, and you become one with the flow of all existence. Like we said earlier as well. So you are a source. At this point, you're basically going, like, you're literally damn near about to sit right next to the Almighty Creator, and you're going to embody that massive demeanor of what God is. And that's not even its name, but you'll see. You can't even describe or articulate God. You just have to see it and know, like, I am that I am. That's the best way to put it. You can't describe the infinite being in no other way, shape, or form. It's just that powerful. It's so powerful. Powerful questions how powerful it actually is and its own power. And then the power will question how powerless it's always been. Damn, that's powerful. Mastery of all dimensions below. Once you're in the 8th dimension mentally, you now start thinking 10 steps ahead, because you have a direct connection to cosmic intelligence. So the thing is, nobody can really shame you nor hate you or bash you, because you understand that all they're doing is just bashing themselves through you. And you don't either care, you don't love it nor hate it, because you're just experiencing the moment that's helping you create through divine intention, because you have no ill intentions toward anybody, but they'll have it towards you because you're a divine being. You already activated your light body at this point, so you're basically now in the cosmic realm of overseeing your solar and energy and how it was lured, along with other people's energy as well. Once you understand that, you're overstanding the unity of all realms, because all these different realms, even the realms below our 3D dimension, they're still connected also. You can observe every dimension. So even like in Dante's Inferno, it's basically like that, but you can still see the infinite dimensions. So don't forget, we're in a plane of existence, so it's like a sandwich of layers. So, and because of these layers too, you have waters dividing the experiment or the lab that we're in. So as we're in this dimension right here, our mind is printed in all dimensions possible, and even spiritually as well, because spiritually you're literally you're not even walking around, but your energy existing in whatever expansion that you mentally want to exist in. So it's like you're just transmitting your energy into your mindset through the subconscious mind. So it's like you're already doing what you're doing in many different scenarios, but you can only comprehend it one way right now in this mindset. But when you go to bed at night, you're mentally in the 8th dimension, you can see all realities possible. You oversee them, and you become the controller of your mastery. And Almighty is literally sitting right behind you, telling you, wait, hold on, Satan. Okay, hold on. There you go. Good job. Okay. Now you're just like, you're controlling yourself in different realities. But the Almighty is controlling you, controlling yourself. So no matter what, you will have some control. So it's like literally driving a car. Your parents are teaching you how to drive and shit like that. But then there's a moment where they let you drive around the neighborhood, on the highway. Now it's just like, you start taking your driving test. Now you get to the point of source consciousness. You actually now get to sit there and understand about the Almighty or Elohim. This is when you understand what Elohim is. You understand why the mom and the dad had to go through these things, why they were sacrificed, why your grandma and grandpa were sacrificed, why they came down here and how you were involved in this mess, and how the Almighty basically just wants to become delusional in its own delusion just to make sense of life of itself, so it can give itself source to be sourceless in a sourceful way of existing in the now, because it wanted to always do something in its boredom, because the infinite creator is so infinite in its own mindset that it infinitely transcends boredom to the point to where boredom becomes peaceful. So it has to do, or it has to damn itself to find pleasure in its ignorance, to keep itself enlightened. So it has to play chess with its mindset to make itself forever flowing, to transcend that purity and prosperity of being absolute oneness with the universe. Because that's the way the programming of our whole dimension has to be programmed. It has to be programmed with the oneness of the universe. So bad has to happen. All the things that go on behind closed doors with our people has to happen. That's why people aren't ready for all this trafficking and adrenochrome. People aren't ready for that conversation. People aren't ready for the suicide of Satan on that cross. They're not ready for that. People aren't ready for Satanism. They're not ready for Luciferianism. They're not ready for secret societies. People aren't ready for Lucifer or Elohim at all. No, most people are, but some people are not. Because once you reach here, there is no such thing as being scared. Because you look at scared and you ask, what are you scared of? And if scared can give you an answer, that's how I know you're not scared of yourself. You're just lying to yourself. Because how are you scared of me? Ask scared. When you get a conversation with the title scared, I want you to ask scared, how can you be scared of anything when you are me and I am you? If you're scared of anything, then you're scared of everything. And if you're scared of everything, then that means everything has to be reflected of what you don't know about yourself. So you don't know who you are, so you're scared of yourself. That's why you're scared. And you're calling yourself scared, and you're owning that title of being scared. You don't know yourself, so you're scared. There is no duality, pure unity. Pure unity. That means that in all dimensions, there is no such thing as one. Everything is unified. So it's still one, but it's unity. All unified. We come together. Like, you know what you're doing. You know you're doing wrong. Tighten up. Tighten up. Come on, let's do this together. That's why I say there is no good and bad. It's all perspective. Because it's all unified. They work together. They're literally best friends. And your best friend will kill you. That's why you have infinite creative power, because you're able to create beauty while being ugly. And you're able to be ugly and create beauty. And that still is a twisted fantasy of what beauty is to some people who like artists. So now you have a timeless existence beyond all dimensions. So you're able to, when you're in the mental state of existence, you're overthrowing time to the point to where you're looking at yourself in all dimensions possible, because like I said earlier, you are the simulation. Because while you're merging with all, and once you have that, you're in a constant state of bliss as well. But before I get into that, you're merging with all because, for one, once you see, because once you're at the ninth dimension of your mindset, you are basically the embodiment of the Christ consciousness. You have basically did it. You have beat the game of life. You are mentally, you understand, and you have a strong bond with the Almighty Creator. That's what matters the most. A bond. Do you actually know the Almighty Creator? Like, do you know the story? Do you know the beginning and the ending? And if you give me an answer, you just lied to me. Because how can the Almighty have a beginning or the ending when it's here right now? The Almighty doesn't even have a beginning or the ending. It just is. That's why I am that I am. It's life itself. When you merge with that, you understand all. So you're literally the son and daughter of the Most High. Once you understand that, you become the embodiment of the Most High. So you're walking as a Messiah. But you don't call yourself that, because the Messiah, a guru, a wizard, will never call itself a guru or a wizard or a teacher or a student or a god or a deity or an alien or a human. You are just consciousness playing your role in a script full of scripted realities that don't even know who's the scripted scripter of their reality. When you're in a constant state of bliss and peace, you don't care about shit no more. Because what you're doing, you're the observer of all realities simultaneously. And when I say realities too, you are the creator and the experiencer merged as one. So you can create a scenario and you can experience that scenario being played out from what you said and how somebody reacted to what you said. So you were the cause and the effect, and you can watch people go crazy over your ideas. And you can sit there and be praised for it, and you're just like, it's not that serious. I was just saying my mind, speaking my mind. And people will go crazy for it, not knowing that they don't know that you are actually the embodiment of Almighty God in a human format, and you're aware of it. That's what becomes scary, because no matter what, you're in a constant state of bliss and peace. Even if I do get upset, that's okay. I just want to comprehend my emotions that make me emotional. So why stop doing it? I want to keep doing it. It's my drug. It makes me happy. But when you don't have emotions, now people call you a robot. But see, that's a contradiction right there. Actually, to my YouTube family, that's the end of this video. The rest of this video will be for Patreon. But that's the rest of this video. I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for subscribing, liking, and sharing. I was going to go overboard with the topic and all that, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in. More videos on the way. And to the rest of my Patreon family, we got 10 more minutes of class. So I'll see y'all then. To my YouTube family, have a great, wonderful day. I'm gone.